Hello, thank you all. So I'm coming to you from three perspectives. I own an e-bike, only e-bike, all-electric bike store, which sells anything and everything. My idea was that somebody could come in and no matter what they wanted that was electric, they could get it from us. So I'm a retailer. I'm the founder of Three Wheels from Jessie, which is a nonprofit that gifts e-trikes to those teens and adults on the autism spectrum so they can get to work, get to school, or recreate with their family or whatever and get that independence and autonomy that they deserve. And then third, you might hear a common name through all this, which is Jessie. I'm the mother of Jessie. My son is 15. He is profoundly autistic, partially verbal, and having an e-trike absolutely changed his life 3 years ago. And he's the whole inspiration for why I'm here, which I've only started in September of 2024. And here I am on a panel. I don't know how this happened. All right. So I just want to bring some human story to it. Miss Gall said no talking about Kayla's belly button. So that was Jessie when he was 12. And notice that everybody around him, including his father, are able to be on bikes. So this is scooters that we tried. And he was relegated to a very small child's toy called a purple drifter. And this particular day is the day that everything changed for me, because right after this, his friends, who are neurotypical friends, got on their bicycles and rode away, and he couldn't go. And he picked up that purple drifter and he walked across the yard, and I said out the window, "Jessie, honey, where are you going?" And he just points because he can't talk. He points. So there was a barrier. He couldn't go with his friends. So I got on Google and started looking, and I found that there was something called tricycles, which of course I knew, but there were electric tricycles. So Jessie could never learn to ride a bike because autism is a disease of the nervous system, and he could not communicate. He didn't understand pedaling and that would make you go. And then you also have to balance. And you have to steer and think. It was too much for him. But by getting an e-trike, a lot of that was taken away. Look, that's day one. That's how happy he is. I have longer videos of this, of course. I'm a mom. And I had to trim it down to be under 5 minutes. But anyway, that was day one. And that changed his life and ours, because you will see that Frank and I, my husband, we're able to then go. It's okay if they all play at once. The point is that we're out there. We're with him. Look, as a family, I've got stadium seat on my back. We're going up to the local high school football game. There's Jessie up there a few months in learning. There's his best friend's house on the right. There's him downtown where he sits. I've seen him sit for 35 minutes at a signal. He's probably the best driver there is. He takes that signal very seriously. Hot sun, doesn't matter. So anyway, this changed our lives. So we built a business. I already had a business. Frank had been home for 10 years as a primary caregiver for Jessie, but Jessie was getting better in terms of being able to not need a full-time caregiver. So we thought, well, this is fantastic. Let's start a business. And at the same time, because I don't have enough to do, a nonprofit. And so this is our shop. So there we are. We're in Shrewsbury on 35. There's me and Frank getting our first sign. Jessie's in the store. He doesn't care about this at all. He has no idea. He just knows that there's a cool little room in the back. We have a sensory room with a rug and beanbag chairs that he can hang out in, which has turned out to be great for our customers' kids. We have a full service department. That's what Frank does. There's Frank sitting down there. We formed relationships with Aventon, Velatric, Electric, you name it. And we were on our way. Everything was going great. Dun dun. Couldn't believe it. I first heard about this law, not in October, but somebody brought it to my attention on Facebook, like the 18th of December or something. And on the 19th, I was on the phone with Vin Gopal and his team, and because there was a vote on the next December. Anyway, the point was, that's when I started getting involved. And then I absolutely did not think that it would get signed. I was stunned. So I don't know what to do except communicate, so I created a social media, just day one of this, day two of this, day three, and people are starting to follow and get people involved. So this is the fallout. The next morning, a customer who bought a bike 2 weeks earlier, a nice light Aventon Pace. She has macular degeneration. She's young, but she can't see enough to get a driver's license. But this was going to be perfect. A bike is great, lightweight bike. Can I return it? she says. And I'm looking at my inventory on the floor, wondering if it has any value anymore. And I said, stick with me, please. It's one day. Give me a chance. I talked to her yesterday. We're still in this fight. There was a father that I reached out to because I thought it was morally my responsibility, who had an e-bike special order for his 14-year-old son. I refunded him. I had to still keep the special order. It's still on my floor, that bike. But so I was already out revenue day 2. Yeah. Is my inventory devalued? I don't know. We'll see. Is the business? I don't know. I need to let my landlord know by the end of April if I'm going to renew the lease that's at the end of July. And I'm not kidding. I have to know by April if I'm going to be able to stay in business. And then, yeah, Jesse is suddenly an outlaw overnight. Like he's 15, but he'll never get a license. Now he's illegal, right? And then my nonprofit. I'm supposed to gift these to people who can't get licenses. So what happens to my nonprofit? I wanted to just play this. So I've talked about my trikes before, but a little bit of an update since this law passed. So these are all class 2 trikes. And you probably know that I founded a nonprofit called 3 Wheels from Jesse that gifts e-trikes to those on the spectrum so that they can get to work, get to school, have fun, recreate with their family. And I had to stop all fundraisers. And I actually canceled one that was scheduled for March 8th because of this New Jersey e-bike law. Because the people that I would donate trikes to likely would not be able to pass the same driver license test or moped license test or motorized bicycle test that most typical people could pass. So for example, Jesse can control his trike beautifully, but he cannot take a written test or a verbal one. So this is some of the fallout from the New Jersey e-bike law. People who are disabled no longer have access to this form of transportation because of the law. And there's my AI representation of me. So this is just what I've done. Now I'm an advocate. Like I said, this wasn't on my bingo card, but here I am. Here's what we've done. I've aligned with New Jersey Bike and Walk Coalition, People for Bikes. We talk every Tuesday with Zoe. I'm so happy. I'm collecting survey data from about 100 people have been invited. We got about 60-something responses from bike shops to see what the fallout has been for them. We're gathering stories. I'm getting stories from all over the state of disabled riders that this is just devastating for. Talking with delivery drivers, seniors, others. I didn't know like e-bike camping was a thing that there's all these little things I'm learning. Hosting meetings at my shop. I've had the acting director of Motor Vehicle Commission. I've had Jessica Cohen, the executive director of Senator Scutari's office in. And then what I'm doing is every day educating, trying to teach people things. It's hard to teach also something that I don't understand at all. So it's quite possible things I'm teaching aren't right. But anyway, that's it. That's what I'm doing. And I will not give up.